All right, in this video, I want to explain what happens when we collect a gas by mercury or water displacement. So, in this demonstration that I have here, I have a little graphic, and that's really what we want to focus on. But just like I did in class, we could have a flask that's been stoppered with a tube coming out of it, and then we're going to bubble that gas into the udiometer and collect it. So, that top part right here is my udiometer, and then this is the beaker. Now the important thing to keep in mind is the water levels, which are right there. So over the next couple slides, I'm really going to be honing in on what it means for those water levels. All right, on this side, we're going to assume we already collected the gas, and we really want to pay attention to the water levels. So check out the water level inside the udiometer, and we want to compare it to the water levels on the outside. So there's a struggle going on here. The pressure from the gas we collected inside the udiometer is pushing down on the water. Now outside the udiometer, there's also a pressure, but that's from the atmosphere. So the liquid levels are the same in this situation, and remember that this entire chamber is filled with mercury. So the levels of mercury are the same. So that means the pressure of my atmosphere equals the pressure of the gas we collected. The gas is pushing the water down to the same degree as the atmosphere. If the atmosphere was pushing down harder, it would be pushing the water up into the tube. And if the gas was pushing down harder, it would be pushing the water out of the tube and moving it lower. But since they're the same, they equal. So you would want to keep that equation in mind if the mercury levels are the same. So if you want to know the pressure of the gas you collected, it's equal to the atmospheric pressure, which is easy to measure with a barometer. So let's look at a situation where they're not the same. So notice the difference here. Inside the udiometer is higher than outside the udiometer. So the pressure of the gas that we collected and the pressure of the atmosphere on the outside are not the same. So we want to think about who's pushing the water down more. So the atmosphere is pushing the water down more. So the pressure of the atmosphere is greater than the pressure of the gas we collected. So let's think about this for a second. So if I want to try to find the pressure of the gas, I can relate it to the atmospheric pressure just like we did on the previous page. But I have to subtract the difference. So what's the difference between these two gases' pressure? Now, setting up an example problem here will probably be the easiest way for me to do this. So the pressure of the gas equals the pressure of the atmosphere. So let's say the atmospheric pressure today was 760 millimeters of mercury. Notice that unit, it's in millimeters of mercury. So if I use a ruler, I'd be able to measure the difference between the two heights, which corresponds with the difference in the pressure, which is also measured in millimeters. And remember, this whole chamber is filled with mercury. So if I measured the difference, and let's say it came out to 37 millimeters of mercury. It's millimeters because we used a ruler, and it's mercury because the chamber's filled with mercury. So the difference is 37 millimeters of mercury. So I just subtract those numbers to get our answer. So in this case, the pressure of the gas would be 723 millimeters of mercury. So for a situation like this, you'd want to use this equation. So this is really similar to the one we just did, but we have the slight difference that the mercury level inside the udiometer is lower than outside. So this time, the pressure of the gas is greater than the atmospheric pressure. So when I'm trying to find the pressure of the gas, I'm going to take the pressure of the atmosphere, but this time I'm going to add the difference. Okay? I want to add the difference in the heights. So, again, let's use an example. So let's say the pressure of the gas equals the atmospheric pressure, and let's say today again was 760 millimeters of mercury. And I measure the difference in the heights, and it comes out to 13 millimeters of mercury. Again, it's mercury because this whole chamber is filled with mercury, so it's a millimeters of mercury difference. So I can add that 13 millimeters of mercury to get the pressure of the gas. So that would be 773 millimeters of mercury. So when the mercury levels outside are higher, you want to use this equation. You want to add the difference to the atmospheric pressure. All right, so water displacement is a little bit more difficult because water evaporates, so it does a couple more things in these problems that mercury didn't. So these are a little more difficult. So first, let's look at the water level versus inside and outside. In this case, they're exactly the same. So very similar situation here. Inside the chamber, I have a pressure from the gas that we collected, but water likes to evaporate. So there's also a pressure from the water vapor that's evaporated, and the total of those is pushing on the liquid versus the atmosphere. So if the water levels are the same, the pressure inside the tube is equal to the atmosphere, but it would be equal to the sum of the water vapor and the gas we collected. Now, how do I get the water vapor pressure? This is actually in a chart in your textbook. So if you turn to page R63 in your textbook, there's a water vapor pressure chart that you could reference to find the water vapor pressure. Use a barometer to measure the atmospheric pressure, and then all we have to do is subtract to find the pressure of the gas. So this equation right there is the one you want to use for when the water levels are the same. It's a little different than the mercury for the water. So again, a similar idea to the mercury, just a little more complicated with the water. So in this case, the water level in the eudiometer is higher than the outside. So that means the pressure total inside this container, so the pressure total is pushing down, and the pressure of the atmosphere is pushing down. So in this case, the total pressure inside that chamber is less than the pressure of the atmosphere. The atmosphere is pushing down harder, which is making the liquid go up the tube more. So if I want to find out the pressure of the gas we collected, I first have to find the total pressure inside the eudiometer, which is going to be equal to the atmospheric pressure, but I have to again subtract the difference. Now I'm going to make one other note here. The difference has to be in millimeters of mercury, which I'm going to show you how to do in a second. So I would measure the difference in the heights just like we did before. So let's say that this came out to 60 millimeters. Here's the problem. This whole chamber isn't filled with mercury this time. It's filled with water. So that difference is in millimeters of water, not mercury. So to find the total pressure, I have to take the atmospheric pressure. And let's say that it is 760 today. I have to subtract the difference, but it's 60 millimeters of water. And the only way to convert that to mercury is by dividing that number by 13.6. Now, some of you are going to go, where did I get 13.6 from? The 13.6 is the difference in the densities between water and mercury. So water's density is 1, mercury's density is 13.6. So if mercury moves 1 millimeter, water would move 13.6 times that amount. So if I want to convert from water to mercury, all I have to do is divide by 13.6 to find out how much water would have moved. So then if I solve that out, the total pressure would be 760 minus 60 divided by 13.6, and that number comes out to 756. millimeters of mercury. Now, we aren't quite done yet. So that's step one. So anytime you're doing water displacement, you have to worry about the difference in the heights. But you also have to worry about the fact that water evaporates. So I also want to subtract off the water vapor pressure out of the back of the textbook. So I would use the back of my textbook, and let's say that it came out to 21.1 millimeters of mercury. I subtract those numbers to get my final answer. So I take 756 minus 21.1, and I get 735 millimeters of mercury. So that might be a little confusing, but I want to do two things when I'm dealing with water displacement. I want to take the difference in the height and take care of that first. And then I want to subtract off the water vapor pressure from the back of the book to get the total. So let's try one more situation. So, again, we're looking at water levels inside versus outside of that eudiometer. So inside the eudiometer, the pressure total is pushing down more than the atmosphere. So that means the total pressure in the eudiometer is higher than the atmospheric pressure. So similar situation to the previous problem, except if I want to find the total pressure in that cylinder, I have to take the atmospheric pressure, and I need to add the difference this time. But again, I'm going to make a little note. Has to be in mercury. So, to find the total pressure, I would take the atmospheric pressure, and today we're going to say 760 millimeters of mercury, plus the difference in the height. So, I measure the difference, and let's say that comes out to 13 millimeters. Again, this whole chamber is filled with water, so that is millimeters of water, not mercury. So I need to add that 13 millimeters of water, but I have to divide it by 13.6 to convert it to mercury. So find the total pressure. So that would be 760 plus 13 millimeters divided by 13.6, which comes out to 761. Just a really little difference for this problem, millimeters of mercury. Now again, I want the pressure of the gas we collected, not the total. So I also have to subtract off the water vapor out of the back of the book. That number comes out to 21.1 millimeters of mercury. And so I do that subtraction, and I get 740 decimal point millimeters of mercury. And that would be the pressure of the gas. So this problem is really similar to the one we did before. You have to do two things when it comes to water displacement. So water displacement, let's simplify this for you. The first thing that I have to take care of is the difference. So I need to add or subtract the difference of the water levels, but it has to be in terms of mercury, not water. So I'll also put right here that you want to think about dividing by 13.6 to get it to mercury. And the other thing that you have to take care of is the back of your textbook. So we need to subtract the water vapor pressure. Always subtract the pressure of the water, which is in your textbook. So anytime you're dealing with water displacement, you want to make sure that you follow those two steps. Take care of the difference if there is one. If it's zero, then you don't have to worry about the first step. And then take care of the second one, where you'll always subtract the water vapor out of the back of the book.